Hey, Pauline, how are you today?
I am wonderful. How are you, Maynard?
You know what? I'm alive and I count my blessings. So this is an absolutely beautiful day. And it's another day that we get a chance to pour into individuals born with greatness. So yes, I'm very happy.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with who we are, I'm Pauline Victoria,
And I'm Maynard Neal.
and we are here as co-founders of Born with Greatness, a course creation agency for speakers, authors, and coaches. So if you are a speaker, author, or coach, please listen up. And if you are interested in any of our services, we would love to have a call with you. Please just visit our website and fill out our application. We would get on a call with you one on one. But for our episodes and then everything we do, Maynard and I really come to you as a reminder that you are born with greatness. Sometimes we forget in life, and we are here to say no more self doubt, no more imposter syndrome, no more negative talks. You are absolutely born with greatness.
Yes, yes. And embracing who you authentically are. There's so many different times that, and we've even talked about it before, but you'll find that people are trying to look alike, trying to act alike, and trying to do what the other person wants them to do or has done. When we have to truly realize that we are an individual. We want to talk about today on this particular episode is just as Pauline said, overcoming what so many of us have is self doubt, and then also embracing your individuality, being authentically you. You know, last week we talked about discovering and acknowledging your unique gifts and talents. And I'm hoping that a lot of individuals, they gave some exercises last week that were
Yeah.
really good exercises to uncover those unique gifts and talents. And I hope that you guys are following along and actually had an opportunity to just practice on some of those things.
Yeah, and if you didn't catch it, go back and catch the replay. You don't want to miss it because we really did focus on the last episode, specifically on discovering and acknowledging your unique gifts and talents, because it starts there. If you are oblivious of what your gift or talent is, it's really hard to build on nothing. So we believe that each one of us was bestowed upon us a gift or talent that was there, placed within us to bring something, an expression of a higher power to the world. And so we really did focus on that. But we also are not this like rainbows and roses with rose colored glasses. We understand that light gets in the way and we can begin to doubt even whether or not we were given any unique gift or talent. Or maybe we think, okay, maybe this is it. And then imposter syndrome sets in,
Yeah.
right? And we forget that I love how you always say this, Maynard, that each one of us has a unique fingerprint. Even though I don't have fingers, I get it. I get the analogy. So, we get that we're each so unique and that only you can bring that specific gift or talent to the world in the way you can. We could say the same thing, Maynard. We could say born with greatness and it come out differently to the person who's watching this right now because we bring our lens, we bring our perspectives, we bring our experiences to everything that we say, do, create in the world.
Yeah.
So, whenever you're struggling with self doubt, about your uniqueness and individuality, come back to this episode and watch it over and over again because we're here to remind you that there is no comparison. And we want to give you some real tips about how to overcome that self doubt. One of the first ways that we can start overcoming that self doubt is to practice self compassion. Maynard says that we often talk negatively to ourselves about ourselves. And I remember someone saying to me, "Would you talk to me that way? Would you talk to your best friend that way?" And it was like, no, I would never want to be a source of discouragement or negativity in someone else's lives. So, why would I want to do it in mine? Why would I want to be the source of negativity and doubt in mine? And so, I want to encourage you as you are struggling with really embracing that unique gift or talent and self doubt to practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself. I know it's easier said than done. I get it, but it is possible. So, anytime that you start catching yourself thinking, who am I to do this? Oh, well, that person over there is better at it than me, or they're farther along than me. You know, just stop and say, I am in the perfect place and time for me right now. Because each one of us has our own unique journey. And so when we look outside of ourselves to validate our unique gift or talent, well, it's so easy to go down that spiraling road of negativity and criticism. So be kind to yourself. Allow yourself to talk positively to yourself about yourself.
Yeah. You know, biggest thing in this world is love. Love yourself. Sometimes we beat ourselves up and we wonder why we don't have things coming in our way that's positive to us. And when Pauline's just talking about the very first thing of practice self compassion, that can encapsulate so many different things. But be tender and gentle with yourself. Look at yourself. And I did this. I would look and say, there's a little child inside of me that is brilliant, that knows what I'm seeking, but yet is still a child. So I would wake up and look in the mirror and say, I love you. What would you have me to do today? And I would listen. So when you love that inner child within you and you understand all have those securities, but you are very, very unique. And I think that if we celebrate our little wins, it gives us more to want to go after. And even more importantly, we have to protect our energy because what you have in you is what others see outside of you. And if you think of yourself as loving yourself and you identify when you start thinking those negative thoughts and you can observe yourself thinking those thoughts, then you realize you have control to change those thoughts. You have control to say, oh, okay, thank you for sharing. However, I want to go this way. And then when we start looking after the inside of us, we want to surround ourselves with positive influences. Whether that's YouTube or positive friends or mentors or just different things in the community that inspire you and uplift you. Purposely look for things that inspire you and uplift you because those things are becoming a part of you. And then look at that scale and say, what am I feeding myself, saying to myself, thinking about myself more? Am I feeding the negative things? Do I even realize the things that I'm saying? Start looking at the things in you and the way that you're thinking and the things you're saying to yourself, and you start keeping yourself around positive influences, those things start shining out. And I'll say this much, the people that bring you down will help foster that self doubt. You start minimizing the interactions with those individuals. And that's what I call cleaning your plate. There's a saying that if you're around nine, whatever, you're bound to be the 10th. There's so many different things that in our mind, if we tweak things in a way and surround ourselves with those positive influences and those people that are mentors to us and that are true friends that are happy for you to see you on a path of greatness, to do better, to do more. That is so very powerful once you can start identifying with the way that you're thinking and the things that are being said. There is so much positive influences in life that you just need to allow yourself purposely to seek those things out and watch the change.
Yeah. Before I go into the next one, I want to just tag on to what you were saying, Maynard. And this is going to be a little bit hard for some people to hear, but in our development as a person, as we grow and start embracing our unique gifts and talents, there are people who may have been around for a really, really long time in your life, but may no longer be able to relate to the new you. And sometimes that's hard because it's hard to say goodbye to those people. But when we release space that maybe those people were taking, those doubters, because they want to keep you, and it's out of love, they want to keep you in the role that you've been playing for them. But when we are able to clean our plates of those people, what we do is we create space for other people to come in, for other people that we want to intentionally come in and to speak life into our lives.
Mm,
So I know it might be hard to hear, and maybe it's not a complete cutting off, but it's saying, you know what, I'm going to move you to just other plate over here, the side plate for the bread plate, because my entree plate is full of positive influences
yeah.
and people who want to speak life into my life, who want to feed me to all the goodness and reinforce who I am and who I can become. So I just wanted to add that before we move on to the next thing, which is to, I know again, sometimes I even have a hard time saying these words, Maynard, set realistic goals. 'Cause
Yeah.
I am a visionary, I'm a dreamer, I love big goals, I love the pie in the sky, I love dreaming about what could be created, how could we change things, how can we influence people in a good way? Like, I love thinking up there, but
Yep.
then I have to ground myself and be practical in a way, and don't let that be a bad word. Practical is good, and realistic about how I achieve the big dream or big vision. It's putting down realistic goals that I know I can achieve. Because when we stay up in the big dream state, it's fun, but we feel like we're always chasing it because it's too big. And so we need to bring that dream into bite-sized goals that we can then accomplish. And as we accomplish the smaller goals, we celebrate those small victories, which, by the way, that's what my name means. Pauline means small, Victoria means victory. So I love small victories.
Mm,
And as we celebrate those small victories, we put ourselves into a state of gratitude and build our confidence and our resilience. And so, yes, setting realistic goals so we can achieve the big vision and big dream that we have is so important for us to do and for us to implement and have a small victory ritual, right? Turn on your favorite song and do the happy dance or the victory dance. Take yourself out for a sweet treat, like whatever it is, have something that says to your mind, says to you as a person, I did this and I get to celebrate this now. I want you to understand how important it is to celebrate those small victories because they truly lead to the big dream.
and you're telling yourself that I did something, I accomplished something. And everything we do off of how it makes us feel. So when you celebrate that, you're actually stamping into your subconscious that, yes, this is what I did and I like it. And then you, from the inside, want more of that. And guys, you know what? The next step we want to talk about, challenge comparison. Remember that you are your own path. Everybody is different. Everyone has different learning curves. They express things in a different way. Here's something that it's really helped me, and I call it can I, and that's constant and never ending improvement. When we do it in bite sized pieces, as Pauline was speaking about, Instead of going on a 100% all out, sometimes you reach those goals and it's great, but it can be tiring. And it also can be sometimes it stops you from getting started or continuing to go because the mountain looks so high. Well, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time. So if we don't look at saying increase by 100%, if we just take and look at your growth, and if you increase 1% each day, I think that sounds really manageable. And you focus on 1% each day of growth from you from the day prior. If you do that every single day of the year, you have increased 365%. You take off for holidays, et cetera, et cetera. And even if you just did 3/4 of the way, you're still at somewhere 280%, which is better than taking off trying to get 100%. So what we're saying is when you set realistic goals, break it down backwards to little bite-sized pieces that when you take this step, you know it's going towards that big, gigantic goal and not comparing yourself to anyone else, but to you from the day before. It's who you become along that journey within that month or within that year to get to that 365% of growth.
I remember my mom would always say, Don't ever compare yourself to somebody else because there's always going to be someone prettier or smarter than you, but there will also be someone less pretty and smart than you." And I was like, okay, you're right. That totally makes sense. So, really, comparison is just perspective. As a course creation agency, Maynard and I have done courses for various speakers, authors, and coaches who are within the same niche: mindset coaches, parenting coaches, energy healers. So we've done a lot of these things, and a lot of them, we've done a couple of each different ones. And there is no comparing one from the other. They are all unique because, as I said, when we put something out there with our unique gift and talent, it's going to be received differently from different people because we bring our own flavor to it. So, how I coach as a mindset coach is going to be different. How Maynard may coach as a mindset coach, or how we listen to another person and hold space for them is going to be different because of our own experiences, our own perspectives, our own flavors. And so we want you to know that if you are doubting, oh, well, there's enough speakers on blah, 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 right? Or if there's enough authors who've written about spirituality, or there's been enough women who have talked about overcoming cancer or taking care of your body, fitness, you know, don't let that stop you from understanding that your unique gift and talent, your unique perspective, and your lens and your experiences is irreplaceable. They cannot be replaced by somebody else. So I know that you're probably watching this thinking about, wow, I have this talent, but the industry's already saturated. Or why would people listen to me? And that doubt starts creeping in. There is no comparing because there is only one you, and your people are waiting for you to show up and shine that gift and talent.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely right. I can't say it any better. Guys, our next episode, please stay tuned. We're going to delve more into that greatness that's inside of you. Guys, step up, stand out, be bold with humbleness. Because guess what? You are truly born with greatness. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.